Hello everybody, how's everyone doing? Ame Gakita. Okay, this got something interesting that Emily is a Singaporean who was locked up in US prison apparently for sex crimes, and in case anyone want to know, yes, it's a sex crime, a sex offense. He's a convicted sex offense, and that he finally got released early on parole. So, okay, what is this guy did, and actually who is he, who is Emily? So we are gonna talk about a little bit of him and how infamous is he. So in the short term, if you want to know who he is and you want to know more, well, I will tell you more about him, but he's basically the Johnny Somali version of Singapore. And when I say Johnny Somali, it's just that it's kind of a little bit of how worse he can do, but at the same time it's more towards that he did something worse and he's already a convicted sex a crime, meaning to say that he had been jailed for and released on parole, which means that he didn't serve his full term. But because of that, he actually has to, at the same time, he has to be registered under the sex offender in the US sex registry. I don't know. I don't know how the US works, but it's apparent. If you guys want to know, is that it had been released. So like Singapore News Asia and some of the news say that Singaporean Amos released from US prison on parole after serving time for sex-related offense. Apparently that he got a lot of things. So the one thing is that he is actually very infamous to the point that even on Twitter there's a lot of people going around saying like, oh my, this young little boy who is way younger than me going around, and a lot of people say like, oh, I can't wait for his content, or I'm still Singaporean, never renounce, need a better guidance as a kid, get lost in the system and spend another 60 years or something. Like a lot of people say, please don't come back, deport to Singapore, please. Like the funny thing is like US don't even want him, Singapore don't even want him. Maybe Taiwan can take him. I don't know. I mean, like based on what he did, is like a lot of people. What he did in the past is like got a lot of things, and it's so funny that a lot of like a lot of people hope that US can keep him or whatsoever. It's like he is finally out, but I do not know, because based on a lot of people, is that a lot of Singaporeans do not want him back. But at the same time, there's also a lot of US don't even want him back. And why do I say Taiwan is part of the package? Yeah, you guys will want to listen more based on his Wikipedia information, which can be seen here. But the one thing is that you guys might be actually might end up being amazed at how is this person being released, to the point that who is he and what the hell did he do? So Amos Yee is actually technically a former YouTuber, blogger, and a child actor in Singapore for his a few candid camera himself, and that he's well known for like being openly like open speech. And in Singapore, it's not that we don't open speech or being too open or attacking the Singapore government or people, but the thing is, right, what he did in the past was something like, we can understand if you are unhappy with the Singapore government. Even if people ask me, do I feel happy about Singapore government? Well, it depends on the situation. I mean, like if there is a lot of things that I do not like, yes, I would voice it out, but it doesn't mean that I'll voice it in a very negative way. I will have to like pinpoint the reason, the facts, like what is happening along the line. You have to be constructive when coming out with an argument, but this boy just attacked without reasons. But the one thing is that he actually went beyond and causing a lot of people to hate him. Technically was that he actually go and being openly a racism. Like what does that mean? Basically he go and attack other religions, other races in a sense, and in Singapore it's not full. A lot of people don't like that. In Singapore we already say like we are open society, we tolerate despite all the negative of each religion, but it doesn't mean that we should just come out and say hate this religion or hate that religion. If we don't like that religion, it's just, we actually kind of like say like we voice it, but we are understanding in a way. So let's say for example, like if some people don't like the loud noise of Chinese New Year, loud banging in the New Year, yeah, they will say it, but at the same time they will ask them, can you please keep quiet? Like maybe some I got a baby sleeping, maybe just tune it down a little bit, something along the line. And most of us will be, oh, sorry, we'll try to tune it down, something along the line. But at the same time, it's like being openly saying, but it doesn't mean that in a negative way. We have to be like reasonable. But this boy wasn't reasonable in the first place. He just got around and attacking, and he actually got jailed twice twice, okay, for being a racism. So apparently like he even go around and attack like intention of wounding the religious of feeling of Christianity and Muslim apparently in somewhere along the line. And that a funny thing is that he actually got a lot of people reported against him in Singapore, and like I mentioned that if you are being a racism in Singapore, you can get jailed, and he actually got jailed for it. So and we are not going to look into his early YouTube video because he actually being shown to be like a bit of arrogant. That's like basically, if anyone to know who should I refer him as, just basically Donald Trump on YouTube. So yeah, basically he really go to the point of being like thinking that he's right. He's because he appeared once in on a television movie or whatsoever, and he was like, oh, I'm famous. I'm gonna be everyone gonna listen to me. So yeah, the one thing is like, yeah, I know you appear on TV, but you being too naughty. So he actually go around and criticize not just the former founder of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew, but he also go to the point of actually like giving false information or attacking someone or going along the line of defamation. So he actually got arrested for it. It's not that when we say like is Lee Kuan Yew a horrible person or not, it's like some people will say yes to some extent. It doesn't mean without reason. But the thing is right, so we'll be like, okay, so if you're gonna state the late Lee Kuan Yew is gonna be a horrible person, please state the reason why. He didn't. He just attack without reasons. So along the line is like that is just being attacking people without reason, and he got arrested for it. Quite a lot of people. The funny thing is that because he's stated that it was just his own opinion, but the thing is right, that is when he got arrested, and Taiwan. Apparently, some Taiwan human resources kind of activities kind of like did something along the line of like protest the treatment of Lee and that he should get released. So the funny thing is that Taiwan, a Society for Human Rights, demonstrate outside Singapore Trade Office in Taipei, and that they actually wanted this so-called little boy to get released. But the thing is right, he was technically when he got jailed back in 2015, if I'm not wrong, like he was technically a young boy. He was still technically a young boy, 2015 and 2016, but he still count as a mature boy, like a mature adult, technically a young adult at the time. Is that the reason standing behind was that while he was 16, 17 at that time, he is fully aware of what he did, and that he attacked with mercenary intention. When that actually happened, it just means that you're attacking without reason, and that you in Singapore you can get jailed for that. And yeah, he basically got jailed for a total of 10 weeks in Singapore, and a total fine the second round because it's like it's a second offense, and the second offense apparently that he actually attacked religious. The funny thing that after that he actually, despite after that, a lot of people is not aware that in Singapore, once you reach the age of 18, you have to go and serve national service. In Singapore, we call it the military service, but in other words, it's actually a kind of like it's something like along the line of like South Korea, where you have to serve military at the age of 20 plus, but in Singapore, it's 18. And I know some people were like, hey, that's a little bit too early. Well, life in Singapore always sucks. Okay, anyway, but the thing is right, in order to avoid national service, he actually go to US and seek asylum. So what does that mean? He actually did in a simple way or form of saying he escaped to US. And funny thing is, US accepted him. Wow, I was amazed that he was actually accepted asylum in US. The funny thing was that initially, based on the story, if anyone want to know more, I recommend you go and search it out yourself, because in summary, he actually was technically wanted to seek asylum, and that he initially like the country was the US at the time was like, yeah, maybe you can. We'll say we'll let you go, but we'll let you be part of US. But the funny thing is that as he was, because like you said, he was due to serve his national service upon reaching 18 in October, but by leaving, he already breached the Singaporean that if he do come back to Singapore, a compulsory military service, he is technically a defaulter, and that if he do come back to Singapore after getting released from jail in US, he is gonna get jail again in Singapore. But the thing is, right, the US court actually gave him in Chicago. Apparently, they gave him the approval to stay in US, despite US government appeal against the decision. Like the US government for once, US government deserves a statement and say that we are not going to have a insane person in our country, and US was like, no, you are not going to let them in. And the US court is like, oh, court overruled, we are going to let him. Oh, bless America! So yeah, the funny thing is that US actually got him into this, and a lot of Singaporeans was actually, oh yeah, please don't come back. So the funny thing is that a lot of people was like, why is Singaporean celebrating when a Singaporean leave? If the person is a very problematic that doesn't contribute to society, like me, yeah, people are gonna hate you for many reasons. But the thing is, right, this boy actually did way worse than that. And I mean, like, if you don't like the government, come up with reason and explain why. Don't just go and attack without reason and attack and go to the point of attacking religion. Like, even I wouldn't even want to go and attack religious for crowd. And basically, he's just a crowd chaser, and he go around attacking that. And yeah, he, like, when I say that he's basically like Johnny Somali, he actually attacking on YouTube non-stop, to the point that he actually got slapped. He got slapped in real life. And sadly, the person who slapped him at a person who slapped this Amos Yee, he actually got arrested and got imprisoned for a few weeks, if I remember correctly. And yeah, that's just how Singapore rule is. We don't tolerate this kind of behavior. But yes, I mean, like, if this is in Japan or US, I think this Amos Yee would have been long dead. But what I'm actually amazed was that when he was staying at US, he actually managed to do something even more crazier than he did in Singapore. And that is when, at the start I mentioned, he was arrested apparently for a sex offense. And what do he do? Well, not explaining too much on the Wikipedia, but yeah, basically he's a pedo. Wow, yes, you guys got a lot of people going to your country doing that. No. Is it really or not? I don't know. I mean, it's just apparently, okay. The one thing that actually got me actually very surprised was that he actually got into a so-called marriage with a 14 years old while he was apparently 20 years old at that time. Meaning to say that he's no longer a minor. At age 20, you are a responsible adult, okay, young little boy. Even though I call you little boy, but you're an adult already, so please be responsible. But instead, he decided to go to the US and did something even crazier. And that is asking a 14 years old for a nude picture! And he got arrested for it. Yep, okay. It's actually amazing that, because of that thing, he actually got around to the point that he actually, a lot of people just gave up on him on like literally. And a lot of people in Singapore, they're also like, yeah, he got arrested in US, please lock him out and throw away the key. But someone apparently got back the key and get him released earlier this few days ago at the time of this recording. So yeah, he was supposed to serve a 6-year, but apparently he only served half of it. So, well, I mean, like, there's so far no further information in regards to his release at the moment. The only news that is that a lot of people are just talking about, oh, he got released, this is a very infamous person. And a lot of people on US apparently just go to the point of saying like, oh, please send him back to Singapore. And a lot of people in Singapore will be like, oh, please let him stay in US. Personally, I would, if anyone asks me whose side would I stand, well, I mean, like, personally, I would wish not for him to come back, and it would be better if he actually changed for the better. If he became a better himself, that would be good. But at the time of this moment, I I'm very skeptical and not gonna give him the benefit of doubt because why? He had been jailed in Singapore. 10 weeks is not long, but he had been jailed before, and he did not learn his lesson at all. So where would this all come about? Well, I'm not really sure how it will go about, but one thing for sure from how I know is that there is a few possibility, and one of them I'm gonna put out. Number one is that although unlikely, he's gonna change into a better person, and he will change for the better, and he'll maybe try to become a better person in US, or he will come back to Singapore and get jailed for defaulting military service and then contribute to the society. If not, he will continue to just go and create YouTube. I mean, like maybe lucky for or unfortunate for the whole world, the Kick platform may be something he might look into because he's already technically banned from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. I'm not very sure, but Kick, yeah, considering what happened to Sony Somani, yeah, it's very likely that if he touch internet, he get interact with internet, he might go convert to his bad like revert bad. So will he change or not? It's very hard to know at the time of this moment. It's just kind of like all speculation at the moment. It's just a theory all along the line. So I'm not very sure what he will do for now. We have to see anyway. What kind of route will he continue to stay in US, or will he actually come back to Singapore? Is very hard to know. Considering that US judge at the time of his sex offense actually mentioned this line that he may be deported. Not will be, he not must be deported. Is a chance that he may deported. So we need to say he still can stay in US. So we are not very sure what will going to happen to him. But we have to see from there. If there's any update, we'll see how it goes. But the one thing that maybe what we need to be very worried is that there is already a set offender that being on the list. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? We have to see how and what he's gonna do from now on. And with that said, I think we should stop here for now. And if you kind of like into this kind of random chat of random talk or random topic that I always come out, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe. And we'll talk again in the next video or live stream. Have a good day or night. Bye.